Hello, I'm Sophia Jessica, and welcome to the Fan Carpet.
Oh, you are one of the leading roles in the short film Think of the Future.
Yeah,
And,
I would say a supporting role, but yes, definitely.
and you're an American actress based in London. And how's that been for you so far? Are you enjoying it?
It's been really interesting, really difficult. The industry here is very different than it is in America, which is actually something that I quite enjoy about it. I went to drama school here in 2012, and it was one of the best years of my life. So yeah, I just wanted to stay and kind of explore what can happen here. I'm really enjoying it.
And the Think of the Future has been nominated for Best Actress, Best Scene, Best Director at the Scene Festival. So how does that feel?
I mean, totally cool. We did it as a sort of little project, mostly for Grace, because she wanted to explore that kind of a role of a detective inspector, an American detective inspector. And so it was really kind of just a passion project, and we did it, and it was fun. And so now that it's been nominated for all these things, it's kind of like, whoa, that's really cool. Like no one expected that to happen. So it's fun, yeah.
And what could you tell us about Think of the Future and where you fit into the story?
Yeah, so I would say it's based on, I think Grace wanted to make it sort of a longer film instead of one scene. So the concept is based, it's like an American cop show in which, you know, a man has, I won't give anything away, but has done some dastardly things and gets off in court. And so it's my exploration about it was more from the character that has been a victim and how she tries to take the power back, but it's quite scary and not all successful.
Yeah, no, I really enjoyed the film, and I think it was quite emotional. So that's good when you can bring out emotions in others, you know, because of the film and the acting, and it's a good sign.
Thank you. It's really nice, and I'm glad you enjoyed it. It was definitely fun to make. So hopefully, you know, people get a kick.
It was what I thought. It was really nice that the FBI agent sort of obviously empathized with your character because of obviously very similar experiences, and you think you're almost basically, well, for me, I was kind of like on the victim's side in a way, although obviously she was taking it quite far. It was you definitely know why she would feel that way. And then like in movies and series where another character comes in and they try to like kind of tell you you don't want to do this, think of your future and all of that stuff, but it was just nice that she wasn't just saying that, she actually knew that I do know how you feel, but do it for yourself, do this for you, and don't make him take away any more of your time. So I thought that was a really lovely message, for.
I think so too, absolutely. Because to be that kind of victim, obviously, there's a lot of anger there, to get you to that point. But then also a lot of terror, because the way I was playing her anyway, she had never done anything like this before. She'd never killed anyone before. And that's something that I can relate to, because I've never killed anyone before either. So I thought it would be really freaking scary.
But yeah, if there's any research that you did to get into the mindset of a victim, especially one that's sort of seeking revenge.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I watched a couple of shows. I'm totally showing my age here, but back when I was a kid in America, in New York, it was all about Law and Order SVU. So it was actually quite cool, like revisiting that show, because I really loved it. And just a couple of other cop shows, just to see how people reacted to these kinds of situations. I watched some Luther, which is harrowing, but an amazing show. But yeah, I mean, I have to say, I'm quite addicted to kind of cheesy cop shows as well as good ones. So I will say I did watch a bit of cheesy cop shows as well, but that was less research and more pleasure.
It could be both.
Yeah.
And if we go back to the beginning, was there a defining moment for you to get into the film industry?
No, actually. My experience is more in theater. My background is more in theater. And it's only in the past year or two that I've started to get a couple of like small things in films and TVs. And so any opportunity that I have to explore that side of things more, that side of acting more, I will gladly take, because while they're very similar, they are two completely different worlds and two completely different beasts. So the more I can learn about it, the better. So it's really kind of just this past year or two that I've started to get into it.
And do you have any favorite films and preferred genres that you like to watch and that you like to act in? Are they the same or different?
Oh, I think they're actually quite different. I like to act in things that are quite disturbing. I don't know what that says about me. But I think it's more because the characters are so interesting and there's a lot that you can delve into about each person.
Yeah.
But the films and TV, especially recently, the TV that I'm choosing to watch is much more like comfort TV, easy watching. You don't need to be like that.
No, that's interesting, because it's always interesting to know whether it's sort of similar or different, because it's obviously different watching something to enjoy it and then wanting to play a certain character in a certain genre.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And as we all kind of know, the bad guys are the most interesting guys to play. The people that everyone hates are the ones that you're like, oh yeah, what's going on there?
And are there any other aspects of the film industry that you would like to pursue?
Oh, that's a good question. I've been so tunnel vision on acting, but I'm getting sort of into this again in the past couple of years. I've been getting a lot into voiceover work, so I'm kind of interested in the audio side of things, and what would happen, to play with sound, or what you need to create a certain atmosphere, or sounds that you think is a neck breaking, but is actually celery snapping or something like that. I'm very interested in sort of the audio aspect of things. So if I was going to veer off of acting and go into sort of exploring another area of film or TV, I think it would be in the audio world.
Yeah, that's interesting. And you've worked with a great bunch of talent. Do you have a wish list of who you'd like to work with in the future?
Oh my goodness, of course I do. And it is like 8 miles long. I'd say right now, mostly, to be honest, they're stage actors, or who do film as well. So someone like Rory Kinnear, I really would love to act with, or I don't know, the greats, Cate Blanchett or Sinead Cusack or Judi Dench, these kind of great sort of epic actors. Would love to work with someone, especially someone older, because I find working with actors who have so much more experience than myself so interesting. They have so many amazing stories about things that they've done, and you can learn so much from watching them. So yeah, anyone that I can really learn from by watching, I would love to work with.
And do you have a dream role?
Ooh. I mean, I would say there are about 1 billion Shakespeare characters that I love to play, but I've also, I got really into biopics lately, and if I could play anyone in the world, it would probably be Joni Mitchell.
Oh, great. And are there any books that you're a fan of that haven't been adapted yet to film or TV that you would like to be a part of?
Oh my God, yes, that's such a good question. So I've been talking about this with my friend recently, actually, because it's a book that we both love. It's called The Night Circus, and it's by this wonderful author, Erin Morgenstern. And the paintings that that's the wrong word, sort of the scenes that she paints for you are just absolutely beautiful. And in your mind's eye, the whole story is this amazing feast of like colors and spectacle, and the story itself is so compelling, and there are so many wonderful characters. You know, you could play anyone in that book and be amazing. It would be an amazing role, an amazing experience. So we're just waiting, you know, my friend and I are waiting for this to be adapted to a film, because it's going to be spectacular, whoever does it.
That's great. And obviously these times are difficult during lockdown and with what's going on globally. But have you been trying to keep yourself productive, or have you been using this time to relax and rewind?
I think a little bit of both. I think it's a mistake to feel that you have to be productive in this time, because, as you said, it's a very odd, sort of stressful time for everyone, and odd and stressful don't necessarily create creativity, if that makes sense. They're not good breeding grounds for creativity.
Yeah.
Necessarily. So while I do think it's nice to do things to remain sort of active, I think it's a mistake to think that you have to. But that being said, I've been taking part in some play readings that some theater companies that I've worked with before are setting up, which is really fun. And it's a lovely way to feel connected to the creative without feeling like you have to do something. It's just fun. It's nice. And, you know, I've been practicing my ukulele and my guitar a little bit more than I probably have been in the past couple of years. And that's always really nice too. But apart from that, I'm not really doing too much.
Yes. And you mentioned that you attended the Royal Central School of Speech and Drama. And
yeah.
Would you say that you learned quite a lot from that and experienced quite a bit? And also, how do you research and get prepared for your roles? Like, how did you learn what you know?
Well, that's a really good question. First of all, I loved Central. I thought it was an amazing year in a way that I was totally not expecting. A lot of the learning has to come from you and, you know, what you're willing to dig into and what you're willing to put into the course. So that was really cool. And I got to work with a lot of different directors there who all had different ways of working. So how I prepare for a role kind of depends on the role that I'm preparing for. A lot of the time it's about doing a lot of improv that's around the character, around the world of the character. So not necessarily anything that's in the play or movie, but just maybe a daily life in that person's head. So that's a bit sort of methody. I do a lot of script work. So like reading into the script, trying to find the subtext, trying to figure out exactly what this person wants, which I think is probably key to just anything that you do. Finding out what the person wants is the most important. So yeah, there's a bunch of different ways.
Yes.
Yeah.
And do you have any future projects in mind that you're working on or that you hope to work on?
Well, at the moment, I'm going to start. I've actually not quite started yet, but I'm because we're all sort of in this crazy, inside situation. My friend and I are taking that opportunity to work with a director that we know in Australia. Yeah, because why not? We're all at home anyway, right?
Yeah.
And so we've decided to take a couple of monologues and see how we can put those together into a sort of piece. It's very, very new and loose and not fully formed yet, but something there. And before the lockdown happened, I was in a tour of a show, which obviously has been canceled, but we'll see if that ever picks up again. And what else? The only other thing is I've got some voice work. I'm working on a video game. So that's fun. Yeah.
That's exciting.
Yeah, it's really fun, actually. A lot of shouting.
Oh, I bet. It must be quite, with video games, it must be quite different to, some, film acting because of sort of the intensity of how they are in video games.
Yeah, absolutely.
Would you say there's sort of a big difference in, have you actually, first of all, if I ask, have you done sort of stage performances before?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And is there a difference between the style of acting you use for the stage, for film, and for, say, video games?
Oh, well, definitely. At least there probably should be. I don't know if there is for me yet. I'm still working on it. But absolutely, I think with film you can go a lot smaller, more intense. It doesn't have to be as big. And stage, it depends on how far away people are and how big the theater is, of course. But there's definitely a difference of style there. And in terms of video games, it's really interesting because when you're recording little parts or characters in the game, you don't see them in front of you. You don't see the action in front of you. So it all is just completely imagined. You're in a booth by yourself, and so you have to just imagine a battlefield and then scream like you're screaming across a battlefield. Only you're in a tiny booth. So all very different.
Well, thank you so much, Norma, for the interview, and we look forward to more of your work.
Oh, well, we'll see. Thank you so much.
Thank you for watching The Fan Carpet. Please follow us on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram for more content next time.
I'm here on the largest of the Balearic Islands, Mallorca. With the turquoise waters of the Mediterranean Sea, beautiful mountainous landscape, the thriving city of Palma, quaint little market towns, a growing number of luxury hotels, it's no surprise that the likes of Audrey Hepburn and Elizabeth Taylor like to holiday here. So come and join me as I take you round Mallorca.
Thank you for watching The Fan Carpet. If you like this video, be sure to click that thumbs up button at the bottom of your screen. And also be sure to subscribe to the Fan Carpet YouTube channels. They're absolutely free and so much fun too. Be sure to check out the official website, thefancarpet.com. Also, you can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram to stay up to date with reviews, competitions, the latest news, and so much more.